Hello, so how to do a conceptual framework. In this lecture, we will talk about how to um, develop or do a conceptual framework based on two references. Uh, First things first, we need to see what makes a good conceptual framework. A good conceptual framework involves showing a map or map of your process that integrates various concepts and perspectives. Again, since this is one of the most influenced ideas inside the study, your conceptual framework could be a combination of different concepts and way of thinking from different disciplines. Actually, in architecture, we sometimes use ethnography and sometimes in the field of anthropology, in investigating phenomena in the change of floor plans, change in building volume, for example, on how does people influence the entire morphology of a certain structure. So that is conceptual framework. It can be a combination of different perspectives or way of thinking. Now, a solid conceptual framework integrates relevant concepts and perspectives to guide their research and provide a structured approach in addressing the research problem. Now, again, conceptual framework is different with the research process because the research process most of the time is misused by students because they fail to realize that research process is a step-by-step process in their in taking data, interpreting data, and presenting data. Unlike conceptual framework, it is a structured approach to addressing a research problem, either by answering the research questions. It's different from the research process. So again, a solid conceptual framework should have these elements. It can be a diagram in the form of diagram most of the time, and please simplify the diagrams in order for the readers not be confused with with your diagram. Although in this lecture we will look at how we will use those elements to make sure that you have a solid conceptual framework. Now, Now, for the third part, a good conceptual framework is based on literature, on published, especially published literature, um, that is that has similar or providing the nearest possible theories that could support your conceptual framework, thereby making a solid foundation on your study. Now, for the fourth part, please remember that there's no such thing as a permanent conceptual framework. Again, you are free to refine and revise the framework through time. I, and it's better for you to do your conceptual framework now because it is better to edit than to edit nothing. So please, you can just do your conceptual framework in for example in softwares like Miro.com or in PowerPoint. So please do not be afraid on doing your conceptual framework and continuously refine and revise your framework. Now, these are the steps in doing a good conceptual framework. So we have 8 steps here by two different authors. Now, Emenda shows 8 steps in creating a conceptual framework. So first is identify the research problem. Second is review existing literature. The third is identify key concepts. The fourth is synthesize the concepts. Fifth is develop the conceptual model. Sixth is refine and validate. Seventh is apply the framework. And eight, iterate and revise. Now it's different in some way in the paper of Rocco and Plakotnik in 2009 on how they attack or create a conceptual framework. So first, similar to Emenda, but in this case, yung banat kagad is conducting a comprehensive literature review. So with that, they continue in identifying key concepts and variables, organize concepts hierarchically, map relationships between concepts, integrate relevant theoretical perspectives, refine and revise the framework, validating the conceptual framework, and document the conceptual framework. Now, let's begin by comparing the two studies. So first, Emenda proposes that the research problem should be identified immediately. And the second is review existing literature. Now, there are many kinds of methods in doing literature review, but in this case, you try to be extensive enough in identifying key concepts and theories. So you provide thorough literature review, and in the study of Rocco and Plakotnik, they propose that you summarize and analyze the literature to understand existing frameworks or paradigms. So in doing that, you're beginning to develop your conceptual framework. Now the third step is to identify the key concepts. So select and define these key concepts. So how will you do that? You do that by organizing the concepts hierarchically. Which of them has the highest significance or relevance to your study? If you could decide which is the most significant or relevant to the study, then that could be the center or the most important idea in your research topic. So you can centralize that key concept. So not only that you are trying to connect different ideas, but try to find the most important and most significant concept that could be central to your study. Now, in the fourth step, in doing a conceptual framework, you synthesize the concept. So you try to interact and contribute to the understanding of the research problem. So how will you do that? First is by trying to find relevant theories and identify variables that is directly connected to the study. So those variables could be connected to your central idea. So I think you're imagining what your conceptual framework would look like. Now, the fifth step is to develop a conceptual model. Now, in developing a conceptual model, dito na kayo magaling. You try to visualize what you will do using diagrams. Perhaps one of the most popular diagrams that we use in conceptual frameworks is the use of Venn diagrams. Or not, you use bubble and arrow diagrams in developing the conceptual model. Now, how will you do that? According to another study, please be familiar in the usage of arrows and lines for you to present the influence or association of the idea to your central idea. So in doing that, for example, if you will make your variable related to your central idea, you should be familiar with the principle of cause and effect or causal relationships. For example, ito yung isang bilog nyo, diyan manggagaling yung arrow. So, yung bilog na yun, tapos doon magsisimula yung buntot ng arrow nyo, tapos yung ulo ng arrow niyo, i-influence yung central idea ninyo. So, that is cause and effect. So, yung cause is yung buntot ng arrow, and then yung effect is yung ulo ng arrow, yung dulo niya. So magkaiba ang meaning pagka dalawang end ng line merong ulo ng arrow. That is a different story, because when you do that, if both ends of a line in a conceptual framework has an arrowhead, ibig sabihin correlated yung dalawang idea. So please be careful on using arrowheads. So again, please be familiar with the concept of causal relationships or cause and effect. Thereby, being your guide in making a good conceptual framework. Now, additionally, in doing your conceptual framework, please refine and validate. Again, as I have said earlier, you validate your conceptual framework. Alin doon ang pinakamahalaga? Kung meron namang hindi mahalaga doon, tanggalin nyo. Do not be afraid to remove them if it is not necessary. Manggugulo lang yun in your study. Now, in refining and validating your study, please remember always that there's no such thing as a permanent conceptual framework. Please refine it always, and you can seek feedback from your peers. Huwag nyo na lang tanongin yung mga kaaway nyo to, baka hayaan lang kayo na masisira yung conceptual framework nyo. It would be better also if you ask for expert advice or advisors to validate your conceptual framework. So ask their opinions and try to clarify everything that is connected to your study. In refining and revising the framework, according to Rocco and Plachotnick, it should be coherent, clear, and logical in the diagram. So not only that you are trying to show the idea, the central idea, plus the latent variable, plus the constructs. Not only that you're showing that, but you're presenting it in a logical manner. So be careful again in using your arrows, your lines, in showing your conceptual framework. So again, conceptual framework is the summary of your entire study. So please linisin nyo ng maigi yung conceptual framework nyo. Now finally, in applying your conceptual framework, you use it as your guide in aligning all other elements in your study. For example, the research objectives, the research questions, and hypotheses. Now, some studies, they use the conceptual framework as their basis for modeling, structural equation modeling. So, this is when you will apply the framework itself. Anyway, in research method in this subject now class, hindi pa naman natin gagamitin ang conceptual framework to be used in the field pagka gagamitin na sa pag-gather ng data. Hindi pa tayo pupunta sa point na yun. But again, it could be used as a guide for your objective RQs and your hypotheses. And in the 8th step, as you progress with your research, be open to revising and refining the conceptual framework based on new insights or findings. Actually, this happens most of the time, especially if you miss an article or an RRL that is directly connected to your study, that is better actually. Please iterate and revise. So, huwag kayong matakot na i-revise yung mga conceptual frameworks nyo if there are new insights or findings. And finally, and additionally, you document the conceptual framework. Not only that, it is in the form of mind mapping sometimes, but please provide an explanation for your conceptual framework. So, hindi lang yan figure, it is actually the entirety of your study. So, after you design the conceptual framework, you provide a detailed explanation before it. So again, you can refer to your theoretical underpinning or underpinning theory to support your conceptual framework. So, this is how you will do your conceptual framework in a solid way para kung tatanungin kayo ng panelists in the future, at least you have an explanation on how you did your conceptual framework. Again, to review, in doing a research in doing a conceptual framework for your study, you review an extensive literature, an existing corpus of literature. You identify key concepts. You integrate. You map relationships in the model, conceptual model. You validate the content of your conceptual framework. You refine and revise, and then you document the conceptual framework. That way, your study will have a sort of coherence as well as being a workable study. So, yun lang. Kung may katanungan kayo dito, you can email me and you can PM me para naiiyak kayo ngayon. So, I will inform you again if maano pa na to, mai-upload ko na to sa G Drive natin. So, good afternoon to all of you. Thank you.